welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing as it helps out the channel, and give this video a like if you do like it. So this is a review for Hobo Bobo, released on the 17th of May 1947 with a blue ribbon reissue on the 3rd of April 1954. It's the 497th in the series, and it's directed by Robert McKimson. At the moment, I can't show the cartoon due to copyright. A recent restoration was shown on the MeTV TV channel, so hopefully it will show up on the streaming services soon, like HBO Max. And because I can't show the cartoon, I'll just give you a brief synopsis of what happens. So, a baby elephant named Bobo decides that he doesn't want to live a life of moving logs around in India, so he tries to sneak on a ship to New York to join the circus baseball team, as we all dream of course. But how does he sneak on the boat? By painting himself pink, of course, so no one can admit that they see a pink elephant. And with me today to discuss this cartoon and go through some trivia as well is my good friend and fellow hobo, Manny Cruz. Say hi.
Hello, everyone. I'm starting to think maybe I should change my nickname. My real name is Emmanuel, and everybody calls me Manny, but I think Bobo has a nicer sound. What do you think? I do have big
Bobo
ears,
Cruz.
so I am an elephant. Bobo Cruz.
There we go. We'll call you Bobo. We'll address you as such. So, just a few bits of trivia to start off with as I was doing these things. So, well, first of all, this might seem obvious to some of you, but I do have to explain anyway to some of the more younger viewers who might be discovering these cartoons for the first time. But essentially, the pink elephant gag is based on the idea that when you're really drunk, you start seeing pink elephants. You start, hallucinating and whatnot. And it's a similar gag that was also used in Dumbo. In fact, a lot of elements in this short were from Dumbo, from what I can see, like with the circus, and of course a young elephant and all that. But no, they're not the same cartoon, of course, but it's just an odd little coincidence. Now, you might be curious to know about what the $64 question is, and that was taken from the radio show called Take It or Leave It, and that was the big prize. And you're thinking, well, $64 doesn't sound like much, but according to the inflation calculator, $64 in 1947 would be about $783 in 2021. So, for a little radio show, that would be a decent prize, I would think. I certainly could use $783 right now, and that's in US dollars, so it'd be about $1,000 in Australian dollars too. This short also features an appearance of the minor bird in his only appearance outside of a Chuck Jones short. Here, though, the bird seems to be a little bit wilder than the bird's appearances in the Chuck Jones short, where he was, a lot more subdued, I would say, and only resorting to extreme actions when warranted. And finally, Hobo Bobo would end up in one other short called Gone Batty, which eventually I'll cover because that's I think 1954 or thereabouts. So Manny, what are your thoughts on this one? Because I hadn't seen this before I actually went to do this review.
It's interesting the timing that I see this in. So I've said it before, well, in the former commentaries, but I'll bring it up again. But I moved from I'm originally from New Jersey, and I moved to Texas, and because of trying out new things, and I want to explore things outside of what I was accustomed to, and I definitely had a new appreciation for this cartoon, and kind of felt for the little guy, for Bobo, living a life of picking up logs and dreaming of doing other things and playing baseball. I mean, I grew up near New York, and I do enjoy baseball, but I'm terrible at sports. But, having ambitions of doing things outside of where you're from, and then getting there and just dealing with the realities of life and craziness. In my case, I moved back to New Jersey actually a few days ago, back home because of COVID and a bunch of other things. But watching it now in the nice new restoration that was on MeTV, it's just it gave me a new appreciation of this cartoon because I hadn't seen it in a long time. And another thing too and just you know what, I know that Robert McKimson really does get a bum rap for his output, but it's just I think that he definitely had a ton of great cartoons from his beginning up until you could say the 1953 shutdown. and unfortunately his unit got gutted out. But there's in this cartoon in particular, I mean, is it his best cartoon? No, it's charming. I do like it, but things of just that energy that flows in the earlier McKimson cartoons with the animation. I'm guessing it's Rob Scribner's animation, Izzy Ellis, with some of the, and just it seems a lot more wild and free, especially in the takes that the humans make when they see, Pink Bobo. And even, you mentioned before that the Minor Bird makes an appearance in this cartoon, and everybody knows the Minor Bird from the Inky shorts from Chuck Jones. But even the Minor Bird himself, I mean, you still hear the familiar Fingal's Cave overture from Mendelssohn when he's on screen, but just the way that he's acting and like he's more dynamic and more lively than I'm used to seeing him in the Inky shorts. And all in all, I think it's a pretty charming cartoon. I know you love this because you are a father. I'm not, but I love the puns and the dad jokes that Robert T. Bruce provides during the narration. In particular, I love when Bobo arrives into New York Harbor and he sees the Statue of Liberty, and Robert T. Bruce is, and he's arrived at the home of the Braves, the Dodgers, the Yankees, and it's a baseball joke. I get it. Or when
Yeah.
Bobo has his seasickness, and he's like, yeah, he's something like, he's on the rail, and like he's literally hunched over with seasickness, and I'm like, oh, this is dad jokes
Exactly.
galore.
Exactly. I love Robert C. Bruce. I love it. And, like watching this one was a pleasant surprise. And, now while this is not, I guess, a one-shot cartoon, because there was a second Hobo Bobo cartoon, but I don't know, I kind of put it in the same basket as McKimson's one-shot cartoons, because even past the shutdown, where most of his cartoons aren't as good, his one-shot cartoons were still the best thing, some of the best things to come out from his unit, like the whole idea and Bartholomew versus the Wheel, that sort of stuff. And I find these sort of stories to be incredibly charming, and I like how with the ending it's just like, as you pointed out, like seeing the reality of where you're going to end up. Like you might have your dreams, but then when the dreams do become reality, it may not be exactly what you expected, which is kind of like the movie Soul, which is weird way of putting it, because that's pretty much what happens in there, which I won't go into too much detail because there's spoilers and all that. So, so just to wrap this brief review up, Manny, I mean, what score would you give this one out of 10?
This is a tough one. I mean, again, like I said, I love the energy and the vibe of the early McKimson shorts, but it's not. I mean, this isn't Daffy Doodles. This isn't Walkie Talkie Hockey. It's a good cartoon. I'd give it. I'd say 7 out of 10.
Yeah, that'd be me too. Yeah, I would give it about a 7. I think it's a charming little cartoon. Not the most memorable McKimson's done, but it's got its charm. And, I could think of worse things to watch, like a Buddy short, all except Buddy's Bearcats, of course, because we know that one is the greatest cartoon ever made, which I keep on mentioning. Well, you know what it is. But one question to everyone watching, if you can identify who does the voice at the end, like some have said it's Stan Freberg. I'm not really convinced, but then again, if you guys know, let me know in the comments below. So,
still carrying logs.
Guys, that'll do it for this one. Any final thoughts there, Manny, you want to add to this one?
I'm not really a big fan of drinking or alcohol in general, but I think maybe I might have a drink or two because I kind of want to see a pink elephant right about now.
For sure, especially after your move. So, as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Feedback is welcome on these reviews, so by all means, let me know of any way I can improve these as we slowly march our way over to number 500 in the whole series. So, thanks very much for watching, guys, and until next time, take care.
Goodbye, everybody, and I hope you have a jumbo-sized day. Was that good? Was that a bad joke? Terrible.
Nyuk, 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 nyuk.